Hello and welcome to a very solemn episode. It's a sad state of affairs.
Hello and welcome to another episode of India Blues podcast. Ranveer, what are you feeling after
Sad,
Sunday's shit show?
sad, depressed, traumatized. All my positivity is gone. The wonderful, no, the wonderful start we had to preseason is all, it's the whole optimism is slowly going down. And when you face reality, you realize it's just an extension of last season, where
Yeah,
we're just good for 70, 75 minutes of a game, but in the 15 minutes that we are bad, we're so bad that we just end up gifting the game to the opposition. And
you
so,
know,
instead of me going on a rant, we'll just focus on the outcome of the game. And what are some of the takeaways from this? What do you think Chelsea can take away from this, and how can we improve?
the biggest thing that stuck out to me was that Pochettino once again is baffling me with his tactics. We played the entire preseason with four at the back. We did really well. We barely conceded goals. We scored for fun. And suddenly we're playing three at the back, both games. I understand uh, why we started with three at the back against Liverpool. We might need to make special accommodations because of Liverpool shape and how they are set up to play and everything. But I didn't really see a reason for us to have three at the back. And I don't know why Ben Chilwell was a left winger in this match against West Ham. So I think Pochettino needs to start getting his tactics straight, look at what's worked, and play to the strengths of the squad. What do you think?
My point is you should start with your strongest 11, and your strongest 11 should have your marquee signing. And the fact that he put Caicedo on at such a difficult time, in such a difficult fixture where you have 10 men behind the ball, I feel um, he was not doing him any favors by that. And you could see that in his game. He was not
Yeah,
as confident as he was at Brighton.
yeah,
And I felt that he should have started the game, probably played for an hour, 55 minutes, and then you bring him off if you feel he's not match fit as yet. But yeah,
yeah,
and if you have to bring him on, you don't bring him on when your team is under
yeah,
pressure. I mean, I understand he's your marquee signing and you want him to perform at that level, but not on his debut, right?
yeah,
And he's so young.
yeah,
He's not an experienced campaigner as yet, and I felt Pochettino got that wrong there. He
yeah.
should have started in place of Gallagher. Nothing against Gallagher, though he was brilliant. He tried his
Yeah.
best, but I felt Caicedo should have started the game.
Yeah, I agree. That would have lifted so much pressure off him. There must be so much going on in his head, especially with this long drawn out transfer saga. And the price tags don't really help. I think
Yeah.
it's been weighing down on players like Caicedo and Mudryk as well. I think they're really young, they're impressionable, and sometimes the pressure of that price tag can be a huge mental block. And I agree, if he had started, he would have had time to settle into the game like the rest of the squad did.
Uh,
Because
Carney Chukwuemeka was probably one of the best players that we had in the first half, along with Raheem
yeah,
Sterling, which was a big surprise. Yeah, but yeah, you have to give him praise when it's due. I mean, he had a brilliant game, and Sterling and Chukwuemeka were the standout performers for Chelsea in a pretty dismal performance.
yeah. I mean, we gave him slack throughout preseason. We kept
Yeah.
telling him to leave. But I think that's where the experience comes in. In the second half, he was literally carrying our team in attack. I didn't see any progress being made by any of the other attackers, and he was definitely a thorn on down that right hand side. He was really attacking, uh, and yeah, I mean, it was one of the best performances. But at the end of the day, I feel like our attack still lacks. Uh, I mean,
The clinical
that
touch.
clinical finish. Yeah,
Yeah.
that final touch. We really need to find someone or some way to score goals. We need those 1-0 wins. We need to be able to scrap or win together. And I don't
Yeah.
see this team
Yeah.
capable of doing that yet. And
Yeah.
as a Chelsea side, we haven't been able to do that for the past few seasons now, where we're not able to sweat a victory out. Somehow or the other. A victory doesn't need to be beautiful or glorious. We don't need 89% possession.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we've been having a lot of possession, but we've not
Yeah.
been getting the results. And that has kind of been the theme for the last 2, 3 seasons.
I
Yeah.
mean, when I used to watch games with us having like 20% of the ball, but we used to come off with 1-0 win, that was way more satisfying than watching whatever happened on Sunday. And whatever happened on Sunday was this has become starting to become like a classic Chelsea game, right? Like
Yeah.
for the last
Yeah.
few seasons, we've had games like this where inexplicably everything that can go wrong is going wrong against us. Like we
Yeah.
miss a penalty, someone gets injured, even with the red card, we couldn't like dominate. I mean, it was shambles.
Yeah, I thought West Ham played better with 10 men. Once they were down
Yeah.
to 10 men, they kind of everyone pulled in a bigger shift. But yeah, Chelsea need to fix that. I don't think I can blame Nicholas Jackson for our goal scoring woes. I like the fact that Jackson is so direct. He tries to
Yeah.
turn and run, give the defenders a run for their money. But yeah, he needs to start putting the balls in the back of the net. He missed a sitter against Liverpool, and
Yeah.
he missed a sitter against West Ham as well. So that's not going to help his confidence a lot. And we've
Yeah.
already seen what happens when Chelsea strikers are not confident.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Jackson, I think he always looks to pass it. He always looks for someone around him to pass it to. I think he needs to be a little more selfish.
yeah,
But I think he's also shown all the qualities that a Chelsea number nine or a leading striker should hold. And once Carney got injured and was taken off, it took us a lot of time to adjust to Mudryk being on the field. Like one person going off and a different format, a slightly different style of player coming in, I think
yeah,
unsettled us quite a lot.
yeah,
And it took us a long time in the second half to get going, changes the flow of things and disrupts the flow of the game. But we need to be better at at managing these in-game situations. I feel like as a team, there's not enough individuals who are capable of keeping calm, cool heads, you know, uh, just disrupting the flow of the opposition. I think all the players are easily affected by what's happening around them. This side, more than a tactics problem, I think there's a mentality problem somewhere.
yeah,
You see shoulders drop when we go down to one, and I think there's almost a defeatist mentality. That there's a doubt that we might not be able to break this opposition down, and we look like we're out of ideas.
yeah. We did look like we were out of ideas, and even after the formation change, the formation
Yeah,
change in the middle of the second half did not help us as well. Uh,
yeah,
we had six attackers on at one point of time, and no one knew who was playing. I mean, Madueke
yeah,
was probably playing like a number 10 role, and attack down the right wing looks a bit weak with Malo Gusto. He's not the best going forward,
yeah.
and he doesn't have that authority in his defending as well. But I don't really blame him that much. It's just his starting, and it's just his second appearance. So there are glimpses in him which showed me that he can be a regular starter, but not at all at the level that Reece James is performing at. And we can just hope for him to come back as soon as possible.
The difference is primarily in the way these two players contribute to the attacking part of the game. Malo Gusto is more of a defensive
Yeah,
fullback, but Reece James is, I mean, he's a monster ball progressor. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think there's too many fullbacks like him when he's fit. He's such a plus point to our attack that it completely changes the game in our favor. I think that's the biggest thing. But I mean, we all know with Reese, we couldn't. I mean, we couldn't count on him to be fit
yeah,
for the entire
yeah,
season. We knew this before the season started. So I'm grateful Malo Gusto's there for us when we need him. Uh, but yeah, I think now that you're talking about the injuries, I wanted to just touch base on that uh, point where we have, I think, six major first team players who are injured. So
yeah.
Chukwemeka also seems to have undergone a major injury now. Reece James is out. Nkunku is out. Badia Shile is out.
Manas out.
Uh, Fofana's out. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a not a new problem. We've had this problem for the last 2, 3 seasons. It's not 1 or 2 games they are missing, and you as a squad you cannot have a contingency for 6 injuries. Six
Yeah,
injuries for players who are literally a part of your first team. I don't know whether we need a better team which looks into this training and fitness angles, or a team which handles the medicals better, or what sort of process goes into assessing a player when he's signing for the club, what
yeah,
process goes on during his medicals. So we should be able to assess a player's injury timing or injury proneness of a player based on these metrics, but I'm not
yeah.
sure how much of it we are able to do successfully, because quite
Mm,
clearly we are failing at keeping our players fit. And if you look
yeah,
at any successful campaign in the history of football, it has always had a playing 15 or a playing 20 which have been fit throughout the season.
yeah.
So yeah, you can't
I don't
win
think
titles
any
with injured
squad
players.
in the Premier League has this huge of an injury problem season after season. I don't know what has happened. I think ever since Mourinho fought with Eva Carneiro, I think our injury problems have been like really bad. Do you think Pochettino survives the season where we finish 12th again?
No.
No, even I don't think so.
Given Boli's track record, I don't think so. But uh, if Pochettino is given a couple of years, he may make this into a side which has good chemistry, because I
Yeah.
feel that he works well with younger players, and that is one of the reasons why he was brought in. But time is not something you get at Chelsea.
No, but when we did talk about this season during preseason, like when we were predicting how the season's going to turn out, we did predict probably a fight for top four,
Yeah,
or maybe we'll look for the European spots. What's changed is that we've had to spend more money than we anticipated
yeah,
on a couple of players. I think that's the only thing that's changed, and suddenly. Uh, because of the euphoria with how
yeah,
everything transpired, I think Chelsea fans got a little ahead of themselves. I think we, as Chelsea fans, also got a little ahead. We were already thinking that I think top four might be something that we can achieve easily. But
yeah,
reality hits you in the face when you least expect it, I guess.
yeah,
And we've come crashing down. But we need to, you know, embrace the fact, accept the fact that qualification for top four will be a really huge win for Pochettino this season, and
yeah.
maybe a cup run as well. So I think that needs to be our goal for this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to aim for top four. You have to aim for that thing. And how much of it is achievable is something else. But the signs have been so positive in the preseason as well as in the game against Liverpool, that you
Yeah,
are bound to think ahead of yourself. But
yeah,
the injuries don't help. But yeah, against West Ham, we were unlucky, but I thought we
yeah,
should have at least equalized after we went down 2-1, and that did
yeah,
not happen. So it is not the fact that we played poorly and we lost, it is the fact that we could not complete our chances, and West Ham
yeah.
could. The Antonio goal was out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, that's the kind of striker we want Jackson to be, right? He
Yeah,
needs to score those goals. He needs to score goals out of nowhere. He needs to make things happen out of nothing, basically. I still remember Diego Costa's goal. I don't remember the side against which he did that, but he was let loose with a pass down the right hand flank, and
yeah,
somehow he overpowered two or three defenders
yeah.
and he ended up scoring. I think,
I think
I'm
it
not
was
sure if
against
this was against
Middlesbrough.
Wolves, Middlesbrough, maybe.
Wolves
I
or
don't know.
Wolverhampton. Even I'm not sure, but that,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that,
it was unbelievable to watch that happen because it was literally out of nothing.
yes.
And, we need players who are able to do that. What did you think about Pochettino's comments, though? I think before the game, he started uh, being a little more suggestive and aggressive in the sense that he said that we should be aiming to win the league and everything. Do you think a subtle change in the messaging, a subtle change in the mood at the camp because of the Caicedo spending has affected psyche behind the scenes? It might have gotten to Pochettino, the size of the transfer bill that we paid. Is that something that's playing in the squad? Uh, and is that something that impacted the game this weekend?
Yes, yes, obviously. I mean, not just the players and Pochettino, it's affected Caicedo as well. And
Yeah,
you could see, even though we saw the mistakes Caicedo made in that game, you could see Pochettino coming out after the game and defending his players, saying that he
yeah,
has had a positive impact on the team. And he knows that Caicedo is under pressure and he's so young, and to
yeah,
have a bill like that and to come in your first game and then concede a penalty like that, trying to do
yeah,
the thing you have been brought in to do, which is
yeah,
make those last ditch challenges and win the ball.
yeah,
That has got to have an impact on your psyche. And when you see your
yeah,
marquee signing make mistakes like that, it's going to have an impact on the dressing room as well.
yeah,
And you have to remember, this squad is not experienced at all. And we have so many
yeah,
young players, unless they are given the right direction and motivation, their confidence is going to drop really quickly. And we've seen that with Mudrik as well. I mean, he does the confidence he gained during preseason. I felt with a couple of misses against Liverpool and West Ham, I feel that is slowly going down. You saw how Enzo's game changed after he missed the penalty. And unless
yeah,
you are an experienced campaigner with that elite mentality that we talk about, it's going to be really hard to bounce back upon yourself if you don't have that right direction or right motivation. And that is why I think Pochettino had to just step back a bit, bring his stance down from we're going to win the league to Caicedo has done nothing wrong and he has had a positive outcome on the team.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So, who was your man of the match for Chelsea
Chelsea's
this
best player,
against West Ham?
it has to be Raheem Sterling
Mm.
for me. I mean, had Chukwuemeka played the whole game, maybe if he had had a bit more of an impact, if he would have had more of an impact if he had played the whole game, then maybe he would have been the man of the match. But just for the fact that Raheem Sterling created so much down that channel, and the way he improved his game from preseason to this Sunday, I feel he deserves the man of the match. What about you?
Actually, um, I would say, I'd say Chukwuemeka, when he was on the field, did have much more of an impact,
Yeah,
especially um, in coordinating the attack. Uh, but yeah, I'll have to give it to Sterling as well. I think uh, he was the sole bright shining light
yeah.
in our team that day. And who do you think was, the worst performer for our team?
Worst performer. I felt for the goal we conceded, both Colville and Disasi could have done better. I'm talking about the second goal, the Antonio
Yeah,
goal. I felt both Colville and Disasi could have done better. And I
yeah,
won't say they were the worst players on the pitch, but it is in those decisive moments what you do that impacts the outcome of the game.
Yeah,
And the way he was able to shrug Colville off for the first
yeah,
challenge, and the way Disasi did not close him down as quickly as he should have, I think
yeah,
both of them combined to make it a really Chelsea moment
yeah.
in
It
the
was
middle of the park.
disastrous. They didn't have decisive. Uh, I mean, they didn't. They weren't decisive, and that led to yeah a blunder definitely. What do you think about Sanchez though? Was he good enough?
See, Sanchez
He did
anyway
have a
was.
really good stop from Caicedo's mistake late on, but
Yeah.
do you think that saved his performance?
See, Sanchez anyway is an average goalkeeper. He's not someone who can win you a Premier League or maybe he can win you an FA Cup, but he's not going to win you the league with him as your number one. So, yeah, given his standards, I thought he had an average day. He was
Yeah,
neither the best that he could be, nor was he the worst that he has ever been. But yeah, I don't have too high hopes from him either. I'm not
yeah.
expecting him to put up a stellar performance against teams
Yeah, to be
really
honest,
low.
I don't see Kepa saving any one of those goals either. Like
Yeah,
so, I wouldn't blame Sanchez either. For me, the worst performer, the biggest letdown on the pitch was Mudryk. I think he had a lot of time and a lot of free roam to influence the game uh, against
yeah,
a 10-man West Ham United. And he did have a couple of chances to score as well. And I think he really needs to put, uh, you know, his
yeah.
skills to use right now. I think he needs to come good and he needs to start scoring and he needs to improve his end product. So I would say Mudryk was the worst performer. Going ahead, we have a string of decent fixtures, especially the next one is against Luton Town. Do you think we'll get 3 points in that fixture?
I I don't know. If we don't, then I don't know what to say or what to do. We should be winning against Luton Town, but
Coincidentally, Ross Barkley might, uh, have his debut against us. He might be playing for Luton Town.
yeah,
So yeah, I think let's
Ross
hope Ross Barkley doesn't do that to us.
Ross Barkley has a history of doing well against teams who have let him go. Do you remember how motivated he was every time we played against Liverpool?
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
wanted to score. He just
Everton.
wanted to score. And
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know what his mentality is going to be against Chelsea, but I'm not too scared of him because,
yeah,
he's Ross Barkley
yeah,
at the end of the day. Uh,
yeah. So score predictions for Chelsea against Luton Town.
well, we're not keeping a clean sheet, that's for sure. I think we have enough evidence from these first two games to understand that we're pretty wobbly at the back. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea, but I am not at all hopeful. I don't know about hopeful. I just don't know what to expect from this
Yeah,
Chelsea side. And I just
yeah,
hope we play a proper 4-3-3 Pochettino formation
yeah,
with
yeah,
Caicedo starting. He needs a
yeah,
start against Luton Town.
yeah. Um, I would, I would love that as well. I would love Caicedo and Enzo to both start, and let's get the players who are going to play for the rest of the season. Let's just get them on the field. Let's not delay
Yeah.
any longer. And I'm going to just because you said that we don't know what to expect. I agree with you completely, but I'm going to say 3-0 to Chelsea. So just to end this on an optimistic note.
We agreed on one thing then. Chelsea is definitely winning against Luton Town.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're proven right, and we'll catch you again on our next episode. Uh, and hopefully, things are looking better the next
Hopefully,
time.
we'll have better smiles on our faces in the next episode.
Yeah, yeah.